I am back to umpiring softball this summer, with all that it involves. Parents spending hundreds of dollars on equipment, traveling, team fees, and meals. Thousands of hours spent traveling, practicing, playing. Lots of diamond drama with parents often expecting too much out of a situation. Parents with dreams of scholarships and glory for their daughters. Parents need to be reminded of the reality that only 10% of these girls will play any type of college ball, with only 2% playing at the Division I level. Out of the hundreds of girls I saw at the tournament last weekend, only 3 or 4 will play Division I level ball. So, it is with great pleasure that I got to interview one of the few, Kayla Wedl. Kayla had her share of naysayers. Early on, she was told, "Kayla, you're too small, you're too short, you can't play softball at the elite levels." Kayla's response? "Hold my Gatorade."
Okay, Boomer.
Okay, Boomer.
Okay, Boomer. Okay, Boomer. Okay, Boomer.
I got to know the Wedl family at the turn of this century when Kayla and her older sister Kendra were playing ball with the Northern Ice softball organization. Kayla was just a sprout when she began playing. A good stiff wind could blow her over. But she was a little dynamo, good enough to play with the boys in her early years. She worked hard to turn her athleticism into not only a scholarship with a Division I team, but into becoming a professional softball player, a role she is currently enjoying this summer with her team, the New York Rise. When I interviewed her about 2 months ago, she was with the U.S.A. Florida Pride team, a professional team that, for various reasons, is not playing this summer, so she quickly transitioned to her new team, the New York Rise. Here's my interview with Kayla, a little girl from Wauconda who went on to set multiple records with the University of Illinois Chicago, and is now a professional athlete.
Hello.
Good morning, Kayla.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. How's your day going?
Oh, pretty good. Just starting, honestly.
Well, that's fine. That's what young people do sometimes. They get up a little bit later. Hey, thanks for spending some time with me today. So we are with Kayla Wedl, a professional softball player. And I want to start, Kayla, if you don't mind, running through just some of your stats. I asked you and your mother for a bit of a bio, and holy cow, I got 3 pages worth of awards and honors that you have earned. And so while I won't go through all of them, I do want to hit on some of the highlights, starting with Wauconda High School, in which you were a 4-time All-Area player. You were a 3-time All-State ICA first-team member. You're number 13 on the IHSA record board for career strikeouts. And a WHS record holder and so many other things with pitching and batting. They're unbelievable. With the Horizon League Conference Champions, first of all, what is the Horizon League? Explain that.
The Horizon League's a NCAA Division I conference, primarily in the Midwest. It's a lot of, I guess you could say, like metro-based schools in the cities and whatnot.
Who were some of the top teams in that conference?
It was us. That was the top, of course. And then
You betcha.
and then Detroit Mercy, Oakland, which is in Michigan. And then it also included other schools like IUPUI in Indy, Northern Kentucky, Cleveland.
Did some traveling.
What'd you say?
You did some traveling.
Oh, yes. Lots of traveling, long bus rides across all the way to Youngstown, Ohio sometimes.
Yeah. And when you say us, that is the University of Illinois Chicago, the Flames.
Correct.
In which you were the 3-time Horizon League Conference champions. You were part of that. You made several NCAA regional appearances. You made the top 50 Player of the Year watch list for U.S.A. softball twice. Twice you were the NFCA All-Great Lakes region. Tell us what the acronym NFCA stands for.
The NFCA is the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association, which is just like the organization where all the coaches are together, and I believe they have like a main board that does all the voting for like all region, all Americans, and postseason awards.
So these are coaches that have seen you play, voting on you, giving you that recognition.
Yeah, and it's even people that haven't seen you play. They just go off your numbers and pretty much your portfolio.
10 times you were the Horizon League Player of the Week, which is currently a record. Very impressive also is that you were a 2-time Horizon League All-Academic Team and an 8-time Horizon League Honor Roll. So not only are you an amazing athlete, but you also hit the books.
Yes, I did.
You currently have a master's degree in marketing.
Yep.
Yeah. All of that going on, you're putting it all together and becoming you were a nominee for the NCAA Woman of the Year conference, and twice you were nominated for the NCAA Woman of the Year. That in the UIC record book, you're the second person, second highest career batting average. You have the second highest career in runs scored. You are a second in career home runs, second in career stolen bases, second in career total bases. I may have said total before. Stolen bases and total bases. You were number 3 in the single season batting average of .453. That's amazing. Every time you come up to bat, there's a half a chance you're going to get on or get a base hit. That's amazing. You're 3rd in career RBIs, 2nd in career assists. You're the first player in Horizon League history to lead the league in all offensive categories. You did that in 2021. In the NCAA, those recent stats I gave were all with the Flames. But here's a stat from the NCAA Division I softball record book. This is for all Division I schools across the country. You're 20th in stolen base percentage. You had 82 out of 87 stolen bases. Just tremendous.
Thank you.
One of your latest accolades was that you were one of 2 players ever to make the Athletes Unlimited for their first open tryouts. Athletes Unlimited is who you are currently playing for, correct?
No, I am currently playing for the U.S.A. Pride in Vieira, Florida.
Thank you for correcting me. So the Athletes Unlimited came before that.
Yep, that was my rookie season in 2021, right after I graduated from U.S.A.
Was it because it was a rookie season that you weren't asked to be a part of that you actually had to go to an open tryout and make it?
Nope, it was my coach actually reached out to me while I was still at U.S.A. in like April and was like, "Are you interested? I'm seeing that there's a tryout," because AU had sent out like the information about the tryout. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm still interested." I signed up for the tryout, which was, I believe, at the end of June of 2021. And then I went to tryouts with about 30 other girls from all around the country, and then ended up making it.
Yeah, you're there with the best of the best, and you make the team. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Tell me about the bridge from AU Athletes Unlimited to the USSSA or the U.S.A. team that you're currently on.
Yeah, so at AU, there are no coaches, but there are facilitators that are assigned to each team just to like have someone there if you need them, like coach their base and whatnot. And Kelly Kretschmann was actually one of them. And I was lucky enough to be on her team for, I want to say, like 4 of 5 of the weeks that we played, which was pretty awesome because it was almost every week. And then after that season ended, like we obviously had a good relationship. And come next summer, she texted me and let me know she was going to be the head coach of the USSSA Pride in Florida and asked if I wanted to join. And I was like, yes, with no hesitation. And here we are.
Here we are as a professional softball player. That is awesome. What are you currently doing now? Have you guys been practicing, I assume?
Yeah, so we train on our own wherever we all live. We're all over the place. So I train at home. I have one current roommate that also plays professionally. And then my older roommate, she just moved out, like our last lease. She also just retired, actually. But we all live together. So we all train together when we could, the 3 of us. And We actually all moved in together because we met through pro softball and all had jobs in downtown Chicago. So it all worked out perfectly. And so we all train together, hit together, and field together when we can.
You guys are true team members, teammates, and life mates for right now, anyhow.
Yeah, for sure.
What position do you expect to play for the U.S.A. Pride?
I expect to play center field, but always open to moving around when somebody needs me somewhere else. I randomly might appear at second base sometimes or wherever they need me, but primarily center field.
Well, that makes you a valuable player in that you can and have in college, indeed, played various positions. Your mom will like this because she's a Cardinals fan. You're kind of like a Tommy Edman, a guy who can play center field. But hey, if I had to come in and play shortstop, I can play it and I can play it well. And certainly, and of course, the same would be true at second base.
Yep, absolutely. But we don't like those Cardinals. We like the Cubs.
The length of your season. What's your season? How's it match up to maybe Major League Baseball as far as the length of the season?
Yep. So we are June, July, August. So 3 months. It's about 10 weeks of games, 12 weeks with the training period. Because we do a 2-week spring training when we get there in June. And we play about 35 to 40 games. So a lot less than MLB. But we also are doing a lot more traveling where we don't get maybe flown to each place. Like we'll fly. And then if we're in Austin, Texas, we're going to drive to Oklahoma City instead of fly.
How does that break down for games played per week?
It's only ever one a day, and they're always at night. And I want to say the max we had per week was 3 or 4.
Right. And if you're driving or going by bus, obviously a lot of those days are spent up on the road. How many teams are in the league?
Last season there was 4. It was the U.S.A. Pride in Florida, the Texas Smoke out of Austin, the Vipers out of Alabama, and the OK City Spark out of OKC, but they just left to go independent.
So you're probably playing teams other than just those 4 that you just mentioned.
Last summer it was just us 4.
Okay. So you rotated through and it was like a traveling professional softball, what would you say, showcase where you guys are playing each other a lot in the various positions or the various locations in the States. Yeah.
So we would for example, travel to Peoria, Illinois for a 3-game series against the Spark. And then we would travel to Kansas City for a 3-game series against the Vipers and stuff like that. We would travel to the kids, in where they're playing at their tournaments so they could come see us play.
Awesome. Are you going to be in Illinois this season at all?
I hope so. We don't have our schedule yet. Hoping that comes out soon. But we have been in Peoria the last 2 years.
Wow. I'll have to make sure I get a hold of that schedule because if you make it to Peoria, it would be fun to come down and watch you guys play.
That'd be absolutely. Awesome. It always sells out too, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's got to be a lot of fun. So what's the largest crowd you think you've played in, speaking of sellouts?
Professionally?
Mm-hmm. Or college.
I think college might have beat it, honestly. It was probably close. Professionally, I would say Bossy Field in Evansville, Indiana, where League of Their Own was filmed. We had to play on that field. That one probably had right under 3,000.
Wow. That's got to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was pretty loud. It was awesome. I want to say that was right under 3 and about right under 8,000 for the weekend.
Nice. That's awesome.
Then in college, regional games were pretty hefty. My freshman year at Oregon had to be the same, around 2 to 3. And then Mizzou as well had a lot. They sold out, I believe.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
How well is U.S.A. Pride taking care of you? Are they paying for all of your travel expenses, your hotels, your food, your uniforms, maybe your equipment?
Yep, all the above. They're providing everything for us. A lot of us have brand deals with equipment providers, but
Nice.
If you do need something and don't have a deal, they would be more than happy to get that for you. But yeah, they are providing us everything we need, and we're doing pretty well out there.
Good. Are you able to pay all your bills with the money they offer you and maybe have some left over?
No. Women's sports are not provided like men.
Sure.
It's definitely up and coming, but it's not something you can live off of. Paying apartment rent, bills, and cars and everything. We are not making what Shohei Ohtani's making.
But you're doing it for the love of the
Yes,
game.
that's exactly right. It's enough to keep doing it and love it, but you have to have other jobs as well in the off season.
And that was true of MLB players back in the day. I'm on Facebook and I'm looking at Stan Musial. Again, sorry for the Cardinal reference, but one of the greatest players ever to play the game and for men's professional baseball. And he had jobs in the summer, and he was working at a car dealership, something like that. So hopefully softball is going through those same growth stages where there'll be where you wouldn't have to have, or you could pay all your bills and not have to have supplemental incomes to continue performing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's slowly climbing, and you can see it in the ESPN numbers, even with like women's basketball right now and volleyball with the sellout crowd at that football stadium they had. So it's happening. It's just not happening as fast as I'd like.
Well, maybe you'll be a part of it in another way somewhere down the road. We'll talk about your future goals here in a moment. I wanted to ask you, how did you rise to this height of softball, to this professional level? Talk to me about what would be three the most important elements in yourself or your life that's enabled you to get to this level.
Yeah, definitely the belief in myself is, I would say, the most important one. Not letting the outside people in that were negative or telling me I couldn't be something or that I couldn't do something. Always staying true to myself and believing in myself while, continuing to love the game and not put too much pressure on myself. Having the support system that I do with my parents, my sister, and my friends that I've grown with along the way. Those are the two biggest ones. And then I would say a third one.
Well, those are two big ones right there.
Yeah.
For sure.
I would say putting myself out there, like that goes with the believing, but just putting myself out there to play every position. A lot of kids nowadays, I see them like just saying, I only play shortstop. And I'm like, but you can be more sought after if you play every position, or just prove that you can be athletic anywhere you're put. So I would say having that in that mentality, that playing every position got me to where I am today.
Yeah, because you were a high school star as a pitcher. You probably played very little in the infield or outfield, as you were leading the team with your arm as a pitcher. Yep. And how much did you pitch in college?
Not one inning.
Not one inning. But you were athletic. You were talented enough to be able to make that transition to the infield and or outfield. So yeah, you're a living example of, hey, learn how to play more than one position.
For sure.
Let's talk more about your ability to believe in yourself and to handle rejection, to go against perhaps the odds. And we all know it's a quick look on the internet. You find out that only 10% of softball players would play on any level of college. Only 2% would make it to Division I like you. And then obviously it goes even lower to go to the professional level. What helped you believe in yourself? Where did that confidence come from? Where did you get that ability to say, I hear you saying no to me, but I'm going to continue on?
Yeah, the no's definitely fueled me. I could have easily thrown in the towel when I got those no's or when I got that negativity, but I chose to let it fuel me and use it towards my development, and then also having my parents again and my family.
Yes.
Keep pushing me and keep providing me what I needed to get to the next level, because it happened multiple times throughout my youthhood, and they were like, "What do you want to do?" Do you want to do this? They're saying this, but do you want to do this? What do you want to do? So they always left the ball in my court, which was awesome, and didn't force me to do anything I didn't want to do. And it definitely got me to where I am.
Yeah,
And
I can attest to the your statement about your parents being an invaluable part of your success. I know both your parents, Kim and Keith Wedl, good people, and they made a lot of sacrifices for you, a lot of sacrifices in time, a lot of sacrifices in money, traveling all over the states when you were a youth softball player for Northern Ice, and Illinois Chill, I think was the other team you played with.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And your parents are not wealthy. I think they're probably solid middle class like myself. And so they were making some sacrifices to for you and your sister to help you down that road. So you're very fortunate with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very blessed.
Yeah. How about your mental approach to the game and maybe specific, whether it's practice or a specific game situation where you're feeling pressure, and especially as you moved. Maybe you can talk about how maybe your mental approach to the game changed as you moved from being a star athlete in a relatively small high school to now a college level and then to a professional level. Talk about that mental approach, how you deal with maybe pressure and get yourself to be able to succeed at a high level.
Yeah. My approach is definitely like, you have to be real with yourself that we play a game of failure. Like hitting 3 out of 10 times and hitting a batting average of 300 is good.
Mm-hmm.
But that's failing 7 times.
No.
And I think people get so caught up in the 7 times that you fail that they don't realize that the 3 times that you didn't, you're still succeeding. So just having you got to be real with yourself and be like, okay, you're not going to hit 1,000. You're not going to get it 10 out of 10 times. Yeah, sometimes it might happen, but that's not realistic. So you got to be realistic with yourself, which I think really helped me. But also having so much fun at the same time. I remember my junior year of college, while I was having so much fun before that, I got to this point where I was just like, you know what you're doing. Let's just have fun. Like, you get to do this. This is an opportunity some would kill for.
Yes.
And then it just all was a breeze from there. And it was like, just you've done this for, 21 at junior? You've done it for almost 15 years of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you questioning your abilities? And of course it's going to happen, but having the mindset to be like, no, Kayla, this is what you have done. Go back to it and just relax a little.
Go back to your basics, go back to what you've learned, and what is it, trust the process? I believe that was your Cubs manager the year they won the World Series. Trust the process. Yeah. Trust the process. Don't worry about the outcome. Trust the process, and your outcome's going to be fine.
Yeah.
So when you go to the plate, what's your goal? You're stepping into the batter's box. In general, what are you attempting to do?
Yeah, well, it's definitely depends on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
If someone's on, definitely trying to just move the runner. That might result in a sac fly or bunting them over, sacrificing my at bat for them to get into scoring position.
Right.
But if it's just me out there, nobody on base, I'm just trying to get on base so someone can do that for me and move me and get me to score.
So you're trying to have a quality at bat. Put the bat on the ball.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just trying to get a nice line drive up the middle half the time. I'm not trying to get a home run every at bat. Just trying to get on base so that my teammates can move me over like I know they always will and score me eventually.
Are you playing 7 or 9 innings?
7.
So it's the bottom of the 7th, runner on second, and you come up to the score's tied. There's 2 outs, and you're coming into the batter's box. What are you thinking? What are you telling yourself? There's a lot of pressure on. The game is right here. Right? It's on the line.
Yeah. No, I'm just telling myself, hit it to the right side. That's my approach in a lot of at-bats, regardless of the situation. Just hit it to the right side because more often than not, it's either going to go up or up the middle. And then that narrows down me focusing on one half of the plate and finding the right pitch to get it over there. So
nice.
That's usually my approach.
So you're trying to simplify it as much as possible.
Yep. not trying to guess what pitch is coming, because that's only going to make things crazier and more complicated for sure.
Do you have any self-talk or strategies for handling when you do strike out in a critical situation, or you make a fielding error that might cost you a run or the game?
I usually just reflect on what just happened, give it a minute, and then move on, forget about it. Again, it's a game of failure, so it's going to happen. You're going to strike out. You're going to make that error. Just reflecting on what I could have done better to avoid that, and then putting it towards my next at-bat or play.
Nice. How else have you grown as a softball player? Compare yourself now to when you were a stud high school player. In what ways are you different?
I would say I'm more vocal. Like in high school, I've always been like extroverted and will speak up when I need to. I would say in high school, though, I wasn't as dominant in my vocals, I would say. Like I kind of just went with the flow. Again, it's high school too, so I feel like it's not like you're not in the same mentality that you are in college, like striving for that national championship. I mean, you're doing it for a state championship, but there's people on your team too that are just there to play high school ball and not, they're just kind of there for fun, which is fine. But when you have a team of 20 all striving for the same thing in college and professionally, you kind of feed off each other. And so I think I got more vocal in college, whether that was like just even about a question at practice or just vocalizing to my teammates what we need to do and stepping up and leading the larger group, because I know we're all there for the same thing. So I definitely got more vocal.
How do you think that's affected you off of the diamond? Has this growth shown itself? Your ability to speak up, to be a leader, has that shown up in other aspects of your life?
Definitely in the real world, like at work and stuff. I am always the first to like just jump in. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, why are we not like being more efficient with our time right now? How about we try this process? And then, because there's always people that I see that are more like introverted, which is totally fine. But when I recognize that, I'm like, okay, I need to step in right now because they might be uncomfortable in the situation and I'm not. So I'm going to try to fix this, whatever it may be. But I will be the first to jump in and voice whatever my opinion may be in how we can do something as a team.
You use the word efficient, and I'm thinking it's because you know how valuable practice time is, and there can't be dead moments. There can't be 5 people standing around doing nothing. Let's organize this practice. Let's get the drills or whatever we're working on so that everybody's involved, everybody's focused on the same thing, and making our time as efficient as possible. And that's led for you to look at the other aspects of your life. Let's get this ball rolling.
Oh, yeah. And it happens all the time at work. Like people are like doing things so nonchalantly. And I'm like, what are we doing? We've got other things to do. Like get moving. Or even when people show up to work a minute before work starts and I've been there for 30 minutes, I'm like, I can't do that. Like if you're not early, what is it? If you're not early, you're late. If you're on time, you're late. If you're early, you're on time.
Yeah, exactly. If you're not 10 minutes early, you're late, buddy.
Yeah. I'm scarred.
So you're appreciating what sports has done for you outside of the competitive field.
Yes, for sure. It's definitely grown me into a more professional person just in normal life and my professional jobs outside of playing softball, and develop my interpersonal skills 1,000%.
Share with me a highlight or memory from each of the 3 stages, if you can, of your last 3 stages: high school, college, professional. Is there one standout memory? And it doesn't have to be necessarily on the diamond, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a successful moment, but something from each of those areas when you were at Wauconda High School, then at college and professional, if you can.
Oh, definitely. Well, they're definitely all going to be on the field. And they're all going to be successful ones because those ones stand out. High school, I would say, I think it was my junior year. regional high school game. We were down about to lose to Vernon Hills. And if you know it, the northwest suburbs of Illinois softball, Vernon Hills, we don't get along with. But I think we were down a couple runs and down to the seventh inning, and I hit a home run over the scoreboard to tie it.
Nice.
And we ended up winning.
Sweet.
Yeah, and I just remember one of their players, I remember this so vividly, launching her glove across the infield into the back of their dugout. I was like, oh my God.
It's nice to be able to provoke that kind of reaction from the team that you're beating up on. Nice.
That sticks in my mind, but that was a great game.
One of
we
many.
had a ton of girls come up clutch too, to end up getting the run to put us over the board, and it was just awesome.
Fantastic. So let's move on to college.
Yeah, college. Oh, there's so many. I would say just all the. Oh, no. One specifically is freshman year regionals. We beat Mizzou and knocked them out of the tournament, which was an awesome upset.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it was really cool because, especially as a freshman, it was like super surreal to be like, oh, that we just did that, which was awesome. I ended up I think I hit the walk-off single in the 5-6 hole to do that too.
Sweet.
And then professionally, I would say making tryouts for me. That was a big one for me because there was a lot of people that I heard that didn't go to tryouts because they thought they were too good for that and should have just gotten handed a contract. Yeah, I heard that a lot, and I was like, why don't you just go and prove it? Like, I don't understand how you could just like not try out and think you're better than that.
Might have been because they were afraid of failure.
Yeah, you're probably right. But it was just like, prove them wrong. Like, that's where I say it fuels me to just like, when someone says something, I'm like, how? Like, I don't understand. Just prove it. So making it through tryouts and being there with tons of Power 5 girls and still doing it is my biggest professional memory.
Take a risk failure.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who David Eckstein is?
Say that again?
David Eckstein. Or it might be Eckstein. Your mother would. He was a shortstop for the Cardinals in the 2006 World Series. And as I was thinking about you, it reminded me of him. I actually had to look his name up to get it right because I couldn't remember it. But he's about 5, 6, 7, 8, a very small shortstop. Mm-hmm. And not particularly he walked onto the Florida college team that he eventually played for. He was a walk-on. Nobody recruited him. Nobody offered him a scholarship. He said, I'm going to try out. Made it. And then, of course, went on to play professionally for, 13 or some odd years. And that one year, the Cardinals in 2006, he was the most valuable player in the World Series. Just a tough little nut that was stuck his nose into everything, wasn't afraid to get dirty, to battle, and not a physically imposing player. And you are of similar stature. I don't think he was much bigger than you. You are not would you say that you're one of the smaller players on your team?
Oh, definitely. I've definitely grown a little bit since I was definitely the tiniest though when I was growing up playing.
Oh, yeah.
Playing as a 7-year-old on the 10U team. I was like 50 pounds soaking wet, I think. And I didn't grow much until probably my junior year of high school. And even then I was just getting to where everyone else was. So, but yeah, even now I'm still pretty tiny.
Do you do much weight training to?
Yeah, tons in college, and now I still go to some classes locally that are strength-based classes.
That's fantastic. So you went against odds in a variety of ways, and one of them being your physical stature. Even though you were quite fast, there were probably people who's part of their no and telling you, saying you can't do it. Look at your size. You don't look like the softball players that are making it at the top level. And that was something else you said, well, that's fine. I'm going to do it anyhow.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
And what led to that was your work ethic, which we've touched on a little bit. I did talk with your high school coach, Tim Reynolds, last night, and he did share one memory with me that I want to share with you. Is that he said the high school team of which your sister was playing on, they had gone down to Kentucky or some southern state for their spring tour while it was freezing up here.
Yeah.
And he remembered being in a hotel room and looking out his window and seeing on the parking lot your father on a bucket. He says he spent half of his life receiving pitches from you. So you were probably getting ready for your youth travel league team and traveling with your sister. And he said it was raining, it was misting, and it looked like he might have had a disgruntled look on his face, like, I'm sitting out in a freaking parking lot on a bucket in the rain. What am I doing? But you guys were there, both making that sacrifice, having that work ethic, and putting in the time. And he said, well, she's going to be something else. If this is what they're doing now, I can't wait to get around the team.
Right. Yeah. And again, like, if I don't have mom and dad doing that for me, I am not where I am today for sure.
Right. So that all started so long ago. Do you have any plans? What are your plans for the future? What do you see yourself doing 5 years from now?
5 years from now. How old will I? I'll be 31 in 5 years.
Hot dang.
I really don't know. I'm gonna play as long as I can, while my body lets me, and while it's smart money wise, because like we said, I'm not making enough to make a living off of, but making it work with other jobs. So however long I can play healthy wise and just making smart life choices as I grow up and strive for a family and whatnot. But
yeah. Do you see softball in your future, though, whether it's as a coach or otherwise?
I coached for 2 years at U.S.A.
That's right.
After I graduated, from 2021 to 2023, actually. And I loved it. I loved seeing the girls grow, but it's not my passion, I would say. I'm more passionate about more so the things I studied in school, which is kinesiology and marketing. So whether that's sports marketing, healthcare marketing, or social media marketing, that's what I'm going to strive for professionally.
Potentially, that'd be something you could be doing that with maybe a professional sports team, whether it's to the point where softball has grown that they can afford to have someone like you do that, or doing it with another sports team.
Yep, absolutely. I actually, right now in the off season, I do U.S.A.'s social media as a side gig in the off season.
Awesome. That looked great in your resume, huh?
Yep.
You're playing with, you've played with some Olympians, whether that was with the AU or currently. Do you have any Olympian aspirations?
The next Olympics is not until 2028. So 4 more years. It would be great to be asked to be a part of Team USA, but I feel like it's one of those things where if you're not in when you're younger, it's a little harder to get in, which is fine. So if it happens, it happens, but that's not going to be my main focus right now. My main focus is just going to be my summers and doing what I can do there.
Awesome. Well, we certainly wish you the best of luck. What advice would you give for a current Northern Ice player, an Illinois Chill or a Wauconda High School player? I know you've gone and actually spoken and given your time to some of those groups. What do you tell them, especially when, and are you realistic? Do you tell them that, hey, 2% of you statistically are going to be able to play Division I, which means out of that team of 30, one or none will be able to do that, although 10% of them could play in college. What advice do you give them about playing softball at the level that they're at and maybe trying to advance to the higher levels?
Yeah, absolutely. I always tell the girls the same thing because it's what got me here. I actually just did a keynote speak on this a week or two ago at an event, but that's just to always bet on yourself that you can do whatever you want to do, and that it's not always Power 5. It's not always I have to go to Oklahoma. I'm proof in itself that I went to a mid-major Division I and made it to where I wanted to make it. It can be D2. There's been D2 players that have made it. You need to find what is right for you. It's not always the Power 5. It's not always D1 for that matter. Go where you want to go, what school fits in for you, what school has your major. So many people pick a school that doesn't have their major and they just settle for some random degree, and then they graduate and they have nothing, they don't know what to do because they didn't want to study that. So I always tell them, while we all love softball, it's not forever. Pick your school with academics in mind first, as I did, and then go from there.
I heard an athletic director wisely say once, pick a school, said if you get injured and cannot play another game, you're going to be happy to be at because of whatever the atmosphere of the school and because they've got your major and they're good at teaching your major. Mm-hmm. So your thoughts are right on that same target.
Yeah. Because everyone just hyper focuses on those top 5 teams, which is great. It's a great goal to have. But there becomes a point when Power 5 schools aren't looking at you, that you need to be realistic with yourself. Absolutely. And find what school is for you.
Very good. Very good. Congratulations on all the accolades that you've earned. Yes, did you have some elements in your life that were fortunate that you were be able to take advantage of? And that's the key there. You took advantage of it. You had some opportunities. You took advantage of it, and you put the time and the effort into it. Were you blessed with some good DNA with as far as athletic abilities? Absolutely. But again, you took advantage of what you had and have turned it into quite a career. Wauconda High School is very proud of you. I know the University of Illinois Chicago is very proud of you, and just congratulations for all those, for the effort and for the accolades that you've earned.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Well, it's been fun talking with you. It's been fun talking with a professional softball player. Thanks so much for reminiscing and walking us through your career, and we wish you the best of luck this summer. We hope those of us who are in Illinois can get a chance to go down there and see you in person in Peoria. So good luck with the upcoming season.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for having me on, and wish you the best of luck with everything you're doing as well.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wauconda High School has produced many interesting graduates. I've been fortunate to interview quite a few of them that I bumped into during my tenure at WHS, Kayla being one of them. Scroll through the episodes of OK Boomer, and you will discover other remarkable alumni that are making their mark upon the world. We wish them and Kayla all the best.
Shut up! And kids, don't forget to be checking in with AroundPtown.com. It's got all the news that you can use. Stay hip, stay classy with AroundPtown.com. And for you fellas that want that hip and classy look, well, then you're going to want to get your butt to Ben's Barbershop chair. That's right, Ben's Barbershop. Look him up on Facebook.com. He's in Morrison. You make an appointment, you're going to love it. If you enjoyed listening to Boomer here, he'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe to his podcast so you'd get notifications of when the next episode's coming up. Maybe leave a rating on a review. But yeah, go ahead and subscribe. That helps the podcast grow, and that makes the little fella feel so much better. And if you have any feedback for him, go ahead and contact him at ttaudioworks@gmail.com. Again, that's ttaudioworks@gmail.com. Okay, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.